Most business owners are using AI for basic tasks like emails. The ones that are getting ahead, they're using it to transform how they work. I'm Tania Gomez. 6 months ago, I didn't know the difference between ChatGPT and a chatbot. Now I'm learning from AI experts, testing tools in real businesses, and sharing everything that works. Because AI won't replace you, but someone using AI will. This is the AI Apprentice. Join our free community of practice at providercollective.com.au, where hundreds of business owners are learning together. We start as AI apprentices, but we leave as masters. Let's get into it. Welcome to the AI Apprentice. My name is Tania Gomez, and today I'm joined by Andrew Olson to talk about the next steps from chatbots being AI agents. Before we get into that, can you give me a little bit of a summary of the business you work in and how you help providers?
Yes. Thank you for having me first. Andrew Olson is my name. Donnabrook is the name of my company. That was the name of my farm growing up in Canada. I used that name because I wanted to come up with a name that meant something to me that was kind of agnostic. And what I do is I help companies assess and leverage modern cloud-based telephony. And amongst that, there's a few different services that I help them select from that I deem to have the lowest risk profile. We're objective and transparent in that process, and I refer them to that service. So it's effectively, I guess you could look at it as a consulting and advisory process without a consulting fee, because I recover that through the referral. So I have to be pretty transparent and objective about that process.
Beautiful. And today we wanted to have a chat about AI agents and I guess how they're the next step up from chatbots. Can you explain to begin with what is an AI agent and how it is different than a chatbot?
Well, an agent is effectively anything that can something that's initiated by AI that can execute some kind of business workflow that leverages context and integration to different systems. It can really be something as simple as it's going beyond a basic, say, update an address to update an address and note that person has moved to an area that's a high fire risk zone. And that's kind of a bizarre example, but that's applicable in the NDAS context, where people need to understand, be able to prepare for people who are in high risk areas. But that's effectively, it's just whatever normal cognitive manual function that you would do. And it could be something as simple as updating a record in another system, but leveraging off of context, triggering some other actions from it.
Yeah. And can you share a couple of real examples of what an AI agent can actually do, as opposed to when they're using a chatbot that kind of answers a specific question or from a specific set of data?
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's start from the chatbot perspective, because I think a lot of it's going to evolve from there. So the chatbot's gone from what was very structured and rigid, and probably a lot of people didn't use because they got quickly frustrated when they went to a website, to now something that's more intuitive, and it's drawing information from a very defined knowledge source that's called RAG, Retrieval Augmentation Generation. So it can now conversationally come back and provide the information that you're asking for in an AI format, kind of like talking to an LLM. So it's going to go and look at all the information around compliance or opening hours or how to leave a property maintenance request, for example, and come back and provide you information. But the next step would be to be able to take that context, not only update records, CRMs and things like that, but also perhaps trigger an event. And that trigger an event in a community housing context could be initiating a work order based on that property maintenance request.
Yeah. Okay. So if I've got this right, in a chatbot, I go in there and I ask the chatbot a question, and if it's got an answer pre-scripted in the back end, it'll give me an answer, and then I can get very basic information like what time do you open, how do I do a return. I've used a lot of chatbots on like online fashion shops, and they're quite good for you know, do you want to do a return? Yes, it can take you to the right hyperlink. It can give you very much if-then statements. So if this is this, answer this. Where when we're talking about an AI agent, it is using the data you've given it, but can also then read and interpret and personalize the data so that it's giving you a more specific answer in a way that's easier for you to understand it.
100%. It's unscripted.
Unscripted. That's a good way of defining it.
Yep.
And then what I wanted to dig into in your example was then the actions. It can trigger an action. So what does that mean? What is you gave the example of lodging a property property inspection. What are some other examples? Maybe if we use something in like a sales and marketing perspective, because they're applicable across most businesses.
The dependencies in being able to do anything is one, that you've done the proper identification check of the individual, and to what degree you're integrated to the systems that it can then initiate a response. It could be a customer support scenario. It could be something as simple as an address change. It could be which would require integration. It could be someone updating their health records and actioning a information that needs to be sent out via email or DocuSign or something like that. It's a whole plethora of what-if scenarios that could happen, and Copilot is trying to offer a whole range of these things. And right now they're starting off as facilitator, analyst, market research, reviewing. You know, they'll review if you have a spreadsheet open. They'll review the data for you and highlight anomalies. But if we're talking about the chat agent as that portal, if you presuming all the dependencies are there, really the sky's the limit in terms of what actions that can be coordinated. Again, it's kind of open in general, but everything's changing so quickly. And all the LLMs, like Gemini and ChatGPT and Claude, they're all creating connectors, and if they don't have the connector, they're creating it. People like Zapier, which are third-party connectors, are creating that as well to make all these things possible.
So let's break down a few examples. So if we talk about from a sales perspective, because everyone has a sales function in their business to some degree, let's say that I've taken my phone call of an incoming call using my AI telephony system, and I've noted in that call that someone wants to proceed. Is it then possible for the AI agent to choose the right proposal to generate the information that they've got, and so that I've then got a template proposal ready to go out at the end of the call using the transcribed information they've received?
I think if all the processes are in place, I can't see why that isn't possible. It could populate the data into the form. Once you get past the various checks and measures and quality processes, I can't see why that wouldn't be possible. I'm not doing that with people right now out of the chatbots, but I can't see that being very far away at all.
I guess it's the rapid rate of change. And I guess from an architecture point of view, it's just where have you saved this information? So what field does it need to push into so that information can be reused in the next step?
So the other dependency here, though, is the quality of the data that goes in. It has to be the information you put into that you have in your CRM, for example, about the customer, has to be accurate. Or they could be giving them the wrong information. The information you put into the folder that is going to be the knowledge source for the chatbot has to be up to date. If there's a legislative change on the compliance for NDS, you've got to update it. And maybe one of the things that the AI could do is to make sure that data is up to date. You can link it to another source. There's infinite possibilities.
Is it possible to give AI agents too much freedom? And are there like specific guardrails that need to be considered when you're building out these types of solutions?
100%. And I think that's one of the That's one of the great things about some of these native cloud services is they have those guardrails in place. Like a RAG scenario it basically limits the information that is provided in a chat scenario from the information that you provide it, and doesn't go any further. But like anything, you have to go and do these checks and measures when you look at a service. And this is one of the things I help people with. Does it have ISO accreditations? What level of security does it have? Does it have a record of any breaches in the past? Absolutely, you need to have those guardrails. One of the questions that came up was how accurate is the transcription?
Yeah.
You can the only way to truly tell that is to check and measure it yourself. And that's easy to do. And you can build in a process. I want to go and check and measure the quality of this call summary on 1 in every 10 calls, right? But it's pretty good. And also it can switch to I think 130 different languages in a call. And the AI receptionist, just a little side note, when they released it, it only went live general availability last month. It has 7 different Australian accents.
Wow.
In it.
I didn't know there were 7 different Australian accents.
Neither did I. I'm trying to figure out what they are.
Queensland's definitely got its own.
Apparently Melbourne has its own as well.
Okay.
And all those from Mosman, darling.
Yeah, okay.
But I actually heard that AI only needs a 3-second clip of your voice to be able to replicate it.
Yeah, it's scary.
Probably not. It is very scary.
Yeah. What is the type of work that you're doing with AI agents now, and what do you think it'll be doing in 2 years' time?
To be perfectly honest, I'm doing very little with AI agents. I'm just helping them make the right data available so that they can initiate that themselves through whatever they might have. I guess what that means is it stops the telephony is right now stopping at the point of making the data available in the format that you want that is actionable.
Yeah.
The juncture then is to be able to take that data and trigger other actions. And I'm just trying to make that, give them a source so they have the quality context to make the right decisions and automate as much as possible to get that information to the right place.
How far away do you think is an AI receptionist that can replace or augment your current receptionist?
Now, it's available now.
Yeah, and what does it do? How does that work?
It basically, now we currently have an IBR. We're all familiar with that. Push 1 for this, push 2 for that, push 3 for this. It now replaces that in a conversational tone. Again, one of 7 different accents. So I'll get back to you on what those are. Actually, I'd be keen to hear them. It's going to be drawing from the same source as the chat agent. That's why I think it's going to be another natural extension for these telephony providers to provide the chat agent. It's populated the same way. It's RAG-based data source. So it's getting all this information from the box. The difference is, though, is that I can direct those calls to anyone or to any person or put a call handling rule around it. So
that's answering the phone, but can it do things like book an appointment, reschedule an appointment, escalate an urgent issue?
There are agents that do that. It can link to a scheduler. Yes, it can be done. Yeah, there are agents that do. I haven't set that up yet with people.
Yeah.
But that was certainly available.
Yeah.
Link it to a scheduler.
Because I think the telephone is probably one of the areas that still very much relies on humans. And as you said, you've got the dependency issue that if your receptionist is going away for a period of time, that, not all businesses can have multiple admin people available to take the phone. We have a receptionist in my business, and then if she's away, it's it's me, or it goes to voicemail and I listen to voicemails, or I get my voicemails as text to my phone so I can redo them.
Yep.
But there's no way that I have time when my receptionist's on holiday to answer the phone. It just isn't possible in my business.
Yep.
And I think in lots of businesses as well, it's one of those roles that is very important. The phone is the first impression often. Now, obviously, we have lots of first touch points, but the phone is still very important to lots of businesses.
Yeah.
So if there is a way that can be, even if it's a backup, even if it's, in the ring call, even if it's the second, so it gets transferred, then you can press 1 at any time to speak to a human, and building that human in loop process around the phone. That would be a very interesting thing to have a look at as an AI agent.
Yeah, all those options are available. One of my clients right now is trialing it just for after hours calls.
Yeah.
On a very limited basis, and he has 300 extensions, but he's just going to apply to, say, 4 or 5 different extensions and see how it handles it.
Yeah.
So there's a very, very simple graduated process that you can test this and test out the value. But they do work 24/7, and when they're working from a defined source of the data that you put in there, it's never going to stray.
Yeah.
So
and I mean, that's incoming calls, but then the second you've got incoming calls working, then you could be talking about outbound calls with sales agents who are dialing your clients on your behalf. For me, a really big part of our sales process that is frustrating for me is no-shows at consults, and how often we have to call, text, email to get them to rebook. But if you had an AI agent that worked every night between 6 and 7 p.m. who went through the no calls that day and recalled them to rebook them in, things like that would completely transform my sales pipeline.
Automate the so in other words, in that scenario, the AI would actually call the person to try and reschedule it.
Yeah, rather than having a human do it.
That will happen.
Yeah.
It happens. I'm not getting that from my dentist now, but I don't imagine it's far off.
Yeah. From your dentist to rebook your 6-month appointment.
Yeah, they text me frequently, but no, that'll happen, I'm sure.
Interesting. If there's someone who's listening to this that's interested to see what AI agents can do, what's the best place for them to get more information about what's applicable to their business?
The best place, gosh, there's a number of different sources, and everything's changing so quickly. It's a moment in time, but look, I would, if you're a Microsoft environment, I would look at Copilot. If you're good at prompting LLMs, on the presumption that everyone is using an LLM to some degree, ask the LLM. If you were a Google house, go to Gemini, because they might be better informed than say ChatGPT or Claude. That is what I would do. I would literally go to the LLM and just focus on getting the right prompt to get the right information. Look, because you could go in there and you could set up a weekly update. It could. I have automated emails to help me update me on changes in the NDAS sector and the aged care sector. They're easy to set up, and so you just have to. You could tweak them and modify them to make sure it's giving you relevant information in the right tone at the right frequency, with the right number of points, limited no more than 5, for example.
Yeah.
I now want to be able to take that to creating a document for me that I can then humanize. I'm looking for ways to get ChatGPT to link to things like LinkedIn to help me do my research.
Yeah. Well, Canva links to LinkedIn, so you could push it into Canva and create it in Canva to push it out.
Canva? In terms of graphics, though?
Yeah, well, like once it's got it, if you want to push it to schedule it on LinkedIn, you could go via Canva to schedule it and push it out.
Okay. So that's create it in Canva, and it'll schedule and post it for you. Yeah. Well, the other thing that's interesting now is in messaging. When I message someone on LinkedIn, you can actually leave a voice message. Yeah. And I'm getting more of those now. Yeah. And there will probably be a time where that will be done by AI. Yeah. Scary. Yeah. And look, there's lots of scary things that are coming up.
When you say scary, you mean scary because it's unknown, or scary because it's moving so quickly? What's scary for you?
Gosh, it's moving very quickly, and I don't think that it's a whole other rabbit's hole of information. But I don't think we remotely understand on a global scale the risk that we're facing if we don't put the guardrails in.
Yeah.
They call it what's the word?
Superintelligence.
RSI, recursive self-improvement.
Okay.
We don't want it to get to that point.
Yeah.
Because it's going to just create this fast loop of educating and training itself, and we won't be able to stop it.
Superintelligence.
Yeah, and it's going to go. It's already way beyond us on many levels. Like they're all these agents are like Nobel level agents that can do things, and the RSI level when it's self-repeating, in terms it'll just escalate faster and faster in terms of what it can do, and we need to be incredibly aware of that globally. That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah, I've listened to a number of podcasts about that.
Yeah.
I've read a few of Mo Gaudat's books about Scary Smart, about this whole concept.
Yeah.
There's a lot there. It's a lot there. But I think, I feel like lots of those decisions are up to government as opposed to much that we can do at this point in time. And it's just making sure that, that we keep raising it. But I understand the hesitancy of government as well to do anything at this stage because everything's moving so quickly. It's moving before it can have a position.
Yeah, look, I think the people as a voice need to be able to we have to push the government. It's no longer, you can no longer take the approach that we don't understand it. You have to make the effort to understand what the risk is. Yeah. And you can't just sit there and listen to the profitable lobbyists, because there's a lot of money coming from so basically these decisions are being made by a very, very small number of people globally, and they're all racing to what do they call it, AGI, artificial general intelligence, right? And we don't want to get there. I think that the message is pretty clear. We do not want to get there. What we need are narrow
applications.
Narrow solutions to solve cancer, to solve aging, to solve nuclear fission, to solve climate change, right? Not something that goes off and running and we suddenly are answering to it, or it speaks Chinese and is devising military plans. So I don't know.
Yeah. There's lots to think about.
Yeah.
If someone wants to get in touch with you to talk about how you can help them, whether it's to have a chat about the next stage of the AI world or to talk about your AI telephony solutions, what's the best way to get in touch?
Don't use my chatbot. I don't have one, actually. Deliberately, I prefer the human connection. Yeah. So you can find my details on donnabrook.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn, Andrew Olson or Donna Brook.
Perfect. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Thanks a lot.
In 30 minutes, you just learned what most business owners will spend months trying to figure out on their own. Want to keep that momentum going? Join our free AI Apprentice community at providercollective.com.au. Hundreds of business owners testing tools and sharing real wins. Come and be an AI apprentice with me. Let's become masters together. I'll see you next week, or better yet, I'll see you inside the community today.